Hi, everybody. This is September 16th, 2024. I'm sitting in one of my happy places, Mackin Park, in the Millardville neighborhood of Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. This is one of the largest Francophone neighborhoods, or is the largest Francophone neighborhood west of Winnipeg in Canada. So I've just spent about an hour posting on X my story of watching my little brother Paul Kieran's 64 with Down syndrome be locked up by the British Columbia New Democratic Party government with David Eby, I call him Evil Eby, as the acting premier. There is an election coming up on October 19th of 2024, so in a little over a month. And what I'm asking all my British Columbia friends to do is please make sure that we throw these assholes, these socialist, communist assholes, even socialists and communists are not that incompetent, out on their ass or cruel. There was a certain amount of my little brother, I complained in August of 2022 about a fraudulent and forged document that my brother's group home, L'Arche, L''ARCHE, L'Arche, had used to appoint my 81-year-old Catholic nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario, and who's never been alone with Paul, never spent never been alone with him, never cared for him, never contributed to his care. They created this fraudulent forged document so they could give Paul the COVID-19 shot on February 1 of 2021. So when I found out, I sued them, and they allowed me to visit him. We had a visitation agreement that I'd negotiated with the government for 2 visits for an hour on Thursday afternoon at the group home, at the L'Arche group home, and for 5 hours from 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. on every Saturday. And Paul could come to my home, and we went to movies, and we went on little outings. And I had negotiated a written agreement with them. But that was free. I mean, they just treated it like that was nothing. They had no concept of agreements or contracts. Their lawyer is Tara Britnell, Britnell. She's a evil loser lawyer in Surrey. So she wrote me on September 12th of 2022 saying, "You will never see your brother again. All your visits are terminated permanently." This evil little piece of shit lawyer. Pardon my language. I'm sorry, God. And but she was right. She was right. They locked up Paul for 588 days. I'm the last surviving family member in the Lower Mainland to visit him, and he had retired from his workshop. So he was locked up at L'Arche, in his room at L'Arche, for 588 days, except for I was allowed, David Eby, in his kindness and wisdom, allowed me one hour visit on December 22nd of 2023 for a Christmas 2023 visit. And I had taken the bus and the SkyTrain every single day to the British Columbia office and dropped off a letter just asking to meet with them so I could explain what had happened and my concerns. L'Arche was founded, and we now know, so a lot of information has come out. We now know that L'Arche was founded as an SEX cult by 2 SEX predators, Jean Vanier, a retired Canadian naval officer, and Thomas Philippe, an excommunicated, disbarred, or defrocked Catholic priest from France. So these two guys got together and they created a front for their SEX cult, which was residential group homes for incapable adults all over the world. And governments raced to them to throw money at them. And my mother, who didn't know anything about this, nobody knew until Jean Vanier died in 2019, placed Paul in a group home, a large group home in 1993. But he lived with her on weekends and holidays until she died in 2004. And then he lived with myself and my sisters, my two sisters, one of whom's now deceased, the other one's moved away, on weekends and holidays. So we cared for him on weekends and holidays at no charge to the taxpayer at all. I took him to Newfoundland twice. I took him to Seattle once. I took him to the PNE every year. He was my sidekick. We were friends. I understood. I was one of a handful of people in the world that understood his speech because of his Down syndrome speech pathology. And this British Columbia New Democratic Party just reveled in being able to cruelly sever our attachment, our sibling attachment, and lock him up. I went to the Supreme Court of Canada twice, but I couldn't afford a lawyer, and I could barely afford to copy the documents for the court case. There was 1,400 pages of documents, and I had to copy them, make a copy for the judge every single time we appeared before a judge. So what I'm asking everyone to do, please, this is one time in your life when you can really do some good and get some justice for Paul. I mean, I've been retired since 2021, and I haven't been able to rest a moment or relax or do anything fun because I've been fighting these, you can substitute the word, evil people. And they like it. They like the power. It's that collective communist socialist mindset where the individual means nothing. Individual rights mean zero. Nothing at all. So get out there and find out who your Conservative Party of British Columbia candidate is. Mine is Hamed Najafi for Coquitlam Millardville. Get out there, find out who your Conservative Party of BC candidate is. Volunteer for them. Offer to be a scrutineer. Offer to do phone banks. Do whatever you can. Do door knocking. Make sure that you are registered to vote. You should have received your notice by now. It's October 19th, 2024. So it's a little over a month away. And we have a chance to send a message to these evil people that I've spent every waking minute since they terminated my visits with my little brother in 2022, fighting these, and all they had to do, they could have met with me and said, oh yeah, well, we don't agree with you. I borrowed $12,500 to hire 2 expert psychiatrists to say that there was no reason why Paul shouldn't be able to visit with me, and that he and I would both benefit from visiting. But they didn't care because they had the power. David Eby, the acting premier, appointed himself premier of British Columbia. He was never elected premier, and don't ever let him be. Oh, don't ever let him be. Paul, I miss you so much. This would have been a very beautiful weekend. Paul was born the same year as Terry Fox, and I'd like to think that Paul is a hero the same way that Terry Fox was a hero, a disabled hero. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember, we've only got less than a little over a month to get out there and throw these assholes out on their New Democratic Party assholes out on their ass. We can achieve a little bit of justice for my little brother. Take care, everyone.